Good morning and welcome to your Morning Meds. My name is Melissa Romero, and for today's Morning Meds, I wanted to talk to you about the 8 powers of the soul. So the 8 powers of the soul are brought to you by the Brahma Kumari. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Brahma Kumari just to give you some background. The Brahma Kumari is a spiritual organization that was founded in India back in the 1930s. There's a few interesting things about the Brahma Kumari that are pretty amazing. Number one, the Brahma Kumari is one of the largest spiritual organizations led by women. So that's pretty amazing. And number two, it's a spiritual organization that bases their practice on loving kindness, forgiveness, and just compassion and just being great. And their belief is that we are souls living this human existence. I'm actually taking some courses with the Brahma Kumari, and I've been studying with them for the past couple of months. I'm taking a course on meditation, and it's going deep into what the soul is and what the soul's purpose is. So one of the things that they talked about that I thought might be super important to share with you is the 8 powers of the soul. So the 8 powers of the soul are what the soul needs to maintain or to perform on this journey. Okay, so one of the powers that they talk about is the power to withdraw. So the power to withdraw talks about how we are constantly, as a society, as humans, we're constantly engaged. We're engaged on our cell phones, we're on social media, we're reading books, we're gossiping, we're this, we're that. We're constantly engaged with the world. So what they say is the power to withdraw, they kind of compare it to like a turtle, how a turtle goes into its shell and it disengages from the world. So they say that, in order for our souls to maintain this journey, we need to disengage. We have to use that power to disengage. That means we have to be one with our breath, meditate, do things where we disengage from the world, where we get rid of our cell phones for a little bit, where we're not constantly engaged. And usually the best way to do that is meditating. So that's definitely one thing. That's the power number one, is the power to withdraw. Number 2 is the power to pack up. The way my teacher explains it was like, she said that spirituality is traveling. It's a trip, right? Spirituality is a trip, and we need to learn to pack light for this trip. That means we only carry what's necessary on this journey. We don't hold on to resentment. We don't hold on to anger. We don't hold on to fear. We only hold on to what's necessary. We only hold on to the lessons, to the good memories, to the happy times. We don't hold on to all that negativity that we have. Pack lightly. The way she compared it to minimalists. You know how they have like 5 shirts and 5 pants, and that's all they have, and they live on a day-to-day basis with just those 5 shirts and 5 pants. That's what she says. Only pack what's necessary. Be a spiritual minimalist. It also talks about the power to bring things to an end and move forward and move on. Just bring things to an end if they're not helping you grow spiritually. Let go of that. Let go of that excess baggage in order to move forward. So that's number 2, the power to pack up. Number 1 is the power to withdraw. Number 2 is the power to pack up. Number 3 is the power to accommodate. So the power to accommodate talks about how we need to make room for everyone in our lives. So by making room for everyone in our lives doesn't mean that, we're taking everybody's crap or whatever. No, we're just trying to understand them. We're trying to accommodate them into our lives. We don't push anyone away. So for instance, the way they explain it is they compare it to the ocean, right? You put something into the ocean makes room for it. The ocean accommodates it and takes it into its ocean. It talks about doing that. It doesn't mean that you have to get beat up by other people, like mentally, or let people, abuse you or take advantage of you. But it means that you take the time out to understand where they're coming from. You make accommodations for them. You accommodate them. Because everything that you do is from love, from a place of love and compassion. So it's kind of a way to be compassionate. The power to accommodate is pretty much the power to practice compassion for everyone that comes your way. Number 4 is the power to cooperate. The power to cooperate talks about give in service to others, just to be in service to others, to cooperate on this planet with all the parts of this planet. So give to empower others, empower your friends. If there's something that you can give a friend to help them move forward on their journey, give it to them. Just always just give in service to others. There was a post that I talked about, and also another post that I heard about being in competition. When you do the power to cooperate, there is no competition. There's enough pretty much for everyone on this planet. You don't have to compete. You don't have to hold on to things because you're afraid that someone is going to take them from you. There is enough for everyone to go around. So with the power to cooperate is working in service with others, helping people. If like I said earlier, if there's something that you can help someone with to move forward in their journey, like if there's someone that you can help them out with, whatever it is, help people, work in service to others, cooperate on this planet, work together. Okay, that's number 4. Number 5 is the power to discern or discriminate. They actually call it the power to discriminate, but I like better the power to discern because discriminate kind of has a negative connotation to it. But the power to discern is to know the difference between what's true and what's false, what's right and what's wrong, right? So it talks about how a jeweler, he sees a rock and he knows whether it's a precious stone or if it's a piece of glass. Like a jeweler is able to discern, and that's what we have the ability to do. We have the ability to know the difference between good and bad, between right and wrong, between false and true. So that's the ability to discern, is the ability to understand and do what is correct and do what is true to who we truly are, to our soul's purpose. Number 6 is the power to judge. So the power to judge isn't talking about anyone. It's not talking about judging others. It's the power to assess ourselves. So it talks about it's us assessing the quality of our choices. And the way they describe it is like at the end of your day, sitting back and thinking about all the different choices that you made that day and assessing them and figuring out what it is that you can do different next time in order to improve your choices or just improve the quality of all of your choices. So it talks about judging, not judging others, but judging yourself. And kind of once you judge yourself, if you realize that you made a bad choice, kind of be playing judge and jury and deciding what you're going to do next. How are you not going to punish yourself, but how are you going to make sure that you don't make that choice again if it was a choice that wasn't true to who you are spiritually. So that's the power to judge. So again, let's start with number 1. Number 1 is the power to withdraw. Number 2 is the power to pack up. Number 3 is the power to accommodate. Number 4 is the power to cooperate. Number 5 is the power to discern. And number 6 is the power to judge. Number 7 is the power to tolerate. And this one's my favorite. It talks about how to respond to external and internal events positively. So this always brings me back to that quote by Martin Luther King about hate cannot hate cannot get rid of hate. Only love can do that. That's not verbatim the quote, but I mean pretty much how it goes. It talks about how you can't fight. There it is. You can't fight hate with hate. You know what I mean? So you can't fight anger with anger. You have to fight you shouldn't fight, period. But if you're gonna respond to something, you have to respond with positivity, with love. Instead of responding to hate with hate, you respond to hate with love. Instead of responding to anger with more anger, you respond to anger with love. So it talks about like somebody says something to us. We usually go and say something back and we respond again with hate. We're fighting hate with hate. And it talks about not doing that. The power to tolerate means the power to deal with external factors or internal events positively, whether it's something that someone said to you or whether it's something that you're going through within yourself. You need to figure out ways to deal with it. So like if you made a choice that you were not too happy about, I mean, there's no use in beating yourself up about it and hating yourself over it. What the power to tolerate says is that we need to react to them positively, loving each other with love. Okay, so that's number 7, is the power to tolerate. Number 8 is the power to face. This is another one of my favorite. The power to face talks about, it kind of goes with number 7, is to confront and resolve our fears or anything, our obstacles, to face them head on in order to deal with them. So this talks about the way the teacher described it is like taking the bulls by the horn, right? Taking the bull by the horns and like just resolving what you have by facing it, face first. And, facing your inner demons per se, facing your fears, facing all that stuff, just going head on with it and dealing with it and confronting it and trying to find resolve and going head on with it with love and trying to understand and face it so that you can resolve it and become your best self and so that your soul can fulfill its journey. So again, this is the 8 powers of the soul, and the purpose of the 8 powers of the soul is to perform the journey of the soul. It's so that we can be able to perform the journey of the soul. So the 8 powers, I'll start from number 1, are number 1, the power to withdraw. Number 2, the power to pack up. Number 3, the power to accommodate. Number 4, the power to cooperate. Number 5, the power to discern. Number 6, the power to judge wisely. Number 7, the power to tolerate. And finally, number 8, the power to face. Try to use all these powers. I hope you were able to write them down, but you can always watch my video if you can't remember them all. But try to use these powers on a day-to-day basis so that you're able to be the best you can possibly be and just be positive and just let your soul fulfill its journey by using these 8 powers. All right. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was useful to you. I love sharing the things that I learned with you, and I love you. So I love to love you. Peace.